Hi, this is Dr. Dan Purser, danpursermd.com. Welcome to my Facebook Live tonight. We're going to discuss MTHFR, causes, symptoms, diseases, and treatments. Jackson will lead off with the theme song, please. What?
Getting fancy.
Was that the theme song? Or is that the theme of Star Wars?
Sure.
What was it? It was the Stars Born. Which one? It's some star thing. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Was that Twinkle Twinkle Little Star, really?
Yeah.
Okay. That's pretty good. You're getting better.
I am getting better.
What is that thing you're playing? The marimba?
The kalimba, the marimba's little baby brother.
It's the marimba's baby brother, the kalimba.
Mm-hmm.
You keep that in your pocket, or what do you do with that thing?
Nope, just keep it right here by all the podcast stuff.
Practicing
That's the only time I
for
play it.
When you're not playing the piano for your girlfriends.
Mm-hmm.
The many girlfriends you picked up from Facebook now. Okay, they're from last week, right? Okay. Yeah. To my left is Jackson, and obviously I'm teasing him, and Brecken. And Bailey's actually here too. Say something, Bailey.
Hi.
Bailey's like the wild child. She's here. Jackson, what happened with the big reveal? All the family wants to know last week. How was it?
I showed up on camera for 1 second. That was, it was amazing. I guess that was it.
Well, and we hope you've gotten lots of responses to your crooning piano playing.
Yeah, sure.
Okay.
Are those new glasses you got on?
You asked me that last week, and are you reading from last week's script?
You're the one who writes the script, so I think you're...
Wait, okay, let's discuss prizes instead. What are prizes tonight? We have prizes.
Oh, Brecken's going to show
a giveaway,
tonight.
actually.
I got to move all the recording equipment here. Wait, what's that?
We've got some prizes.
Glutathione?
Glutathione.
Our Renew is in. Renew is available. And Endure, we're going to discuss it tonight.
Turn the Endure a little bit. But yeah.
Endure. Wait, what?
Come on, small hands.
My small hands. Sorry, guys. I can't.
Okay.
I can't hold all of them.
Oh,
Bailey's
Bailey's
long arm.
helping.
Bailey has a camera.
Brecken is a lot like me. We have corgi arms and legs.
No, actually, I have longer arms than Chicky, so sorry. That's a family.
Chicky in this conversation. Chicky's off limits because
Okay.
she's 15,
Mm-hmm.
almost 16. So we're giving. How did we decide who wins these?
Okay, so you have to like the video, comment on the video, and share the video.
Like, comment, share.
And then make sure you're
LCS.
following this page as well. And then we'll
LCS.
follow. I think we're picking 3 winners this time again.
Three winners get all that. I'll
Yeah.
go broke.
Yep.
I won't be able to afford gasoline even to drive here for the next. Well, the next Facebook Live's in 2 weeks, so maybe I'll have money then to get it.
Yeah. Just one more time, I want you to highlight this Renew is back in stock. And what is the MTHFR Renew?
MTHFR Renew was MTHFR Support. Same exact thing. MTHFR Endure is a much improved version of MTHFR Support Plus. And glutathione is always like the ultimate patented. We're also getting pharmaceutical patents on this. We got our Japanese pharmaceutical patent, I understand. So, this thing is really big. We're starting a biotech around the area in Utah. Okay, so you had a question for me. You're not following the script again.
Sorry, I was looking at everything.
I got it for Brecky. Where did...
No, that's not even no.
So, don't you have a best-selling book on MTHFR? Is that the right question?
Yeah, that's right.
Oh.
I got it.
Well, I had to cue you like crazy. Okay, keep your eye on the script. Yes, I had it for 2 years. It was #1 on Amazon. It's called the 85% Solution, and it explains some of the stuff I'm going to talk about tonight, though we've learned more since my 2 editions of that came out. I guess I need to print a 3rd edition.
Mm-hmm.
Rewrite a 3rd. Anyway, okay, so it's still up there. It's on Kindle. I'd only change a few things. Maybe broaden it a little. So... Okay, so what was the next question?
Well, I don't have a next question. You're supposed to tell us about MTHFR.
Okay, so...
Why don't you tell us where MTHFR comes from? How about that?
Well, okay, you're asking me questions now? Okay. Okay, here we go. We're getting right into the subject matter tonight. MTHFR stands for methylene tetrahydrofolate reductase.
Ooh.
And then I'm going to add enzyme deficiency disease. because when your genes are perfect, they code for certain enzymes or uh, like receptors and things like that for your cell surfaces, all that really count to help your body work perfectly and absorb vitamins and do things correctly. MTHFR is how we really, at the root cause or root basis for MTHFR is how we create energy. So, but it comes from, they think Northern Europe, probably Scandinavia, probably Denmark or Norway, somewhere in there, from a Viking or from a couple of Vikings or 2 or 3 Vikings. So you think about it, back then people did not live in houses. If they were walking outside and a solar flare occurred, they suddenly had mutations. The MTHFR that we see nowadays is not a mutation, it's a transcription error. So it's been passed down, copied over and over and over again, like a Xerox machine gone crazy for 1,200 generations, 12,000 generations, a long time. We don't know exactly when, but it's been a long time since we got these. So everyone who has C677T is related to everyone else who has C677T. Everyone who has A1298C, like I have, is related to everyone else who has A1298C. It came from the same person.
Who was that person?
Omar, the Viking god. I don't know what I don't know who it
I
was.
know,
He was
I'm
a king. I suspect he was a Viking king the way they spread. So Vikings tend to not be really, back then, they weren't Christians or whatever, and they just had a lot of fun with the lady folk.
When was MTHFR discovered?
1998, if I remember correctly, they first started to figure it out. Is before we knew had completed the Human Genome Project. I know that they found it in E. coli originally, but then they found out humans had it too. They didn't really know what it meant. You're talking about the MTHFR error when it was discovered,
yeah.
right? An error, or SNP, single nucleotide protease, is a
Or polymorphism.
single nucleotide polymorphism. Thank you, Jackson. Is an error that occurred. Is that transcription error that you've gotten from generations back, and so your parents gave it to you, and their parents gave it to them, and it just goes further back. You can tell what your ancestors suffered from. But if you want to know the ideal diet, because you're going to ask me that question, think of what Vikings ate. They ate beef, or hopefully it was beef, a lot of fish, stuff like that, and a few veggies. They ate a paleo diet. And that's what you need to get lots of B vitamins and deal with your MTHFR, really. People ask, well, what can I eat? I'm like, paleo. And they're like, I'm a vegetarian. I'm like, okay, you're a vegan or vegetarian? That's a real problem when you have MTHFR. Okay,
Yeah.
Sorry.
This is a funny comment I saw just really quick. Tracy said, "Hi there, cousin, LOL." Because basically we're all related if we all have MTHFR.
Yeah.
It's kind of funny to me.
Probably 1 billion people have MTHFR or more.
That's insane
suspect,
when you think about it.
Yeah, most don't have it very badly like me, but a lot have it severely. According to how many other errors they have stacking on top of it,
And then
which we'll get into.
You mix with your spouse and you create these kids who are just monsters.
That's
Monsters.
Just kidding, I'm joking. Good
Mutants.
joke. Mutants. Not monsters.
You're a mutant.
I am. I have some
No,
pretty
no, you are a
crazy
mutant.
genetics.
Okay.
What are some of the more common symptoms you see caused by MTHFR?
Fatigue. Really horrible fatigue. Hypogonadism. A lot of guys and women come into me because they're like, I'm 32, I have no testosterone, I'm tired all the time. They said I'm tired because of my low testosterone. I'll go, no, you're tired because you have vitamin deficiencies. Your low testosterone is just another symptom of that, effect from the low vitamins, from the vitamin deficiencies. And you've got genetic errors that have caused the vitamin deficiencies. That's why I do a spectral cell. I can pretty well guess what most of them are, but some of them I just don't know. We have so many genetic errors. We all eat so differently that you can have all kinds of vitamin deficiencies caused by genetic errors. I just don't know what all they could be, but we'll find the deficiencies, at least most of them.
So is that what causes the symptoms, those deficiencies? Is
Pretty much, yep.
That's what
So
causes...
the error occurs, and I'll talk to you about it more here in a minute. Well, I'll talk to you about it now. If you look at like the genetic report I like, is our foundation methylation. You get it at danpursermd.com under testing, foundation methylation genetic test. It tests for couple of things it tests for: Folar 1 and Folar 2. Folar 1 and Folar 2, FOLR1, FOLR2, when those are fine, they don't have any errors or SNPs there, you will absorb folate and folic acid and all the forms of folate correctly. But Folar 2 errors, which are really common in North Americans, because we're mostly from Northern Scandinavian descent, then you can't absorb folic acid at all. A lot of you can't absorb it at all. So instead it floats around your system, causes havoc. You don't know you have a intracellular folate deficiency, but you have a high folic acid level when your doctor checks it. And he goes, you don't have a folate problem. That spectral cell wasn't correct. Yeah, because folic acid just causes inflammation and floats around in there and does not get absorbed correctly into your cells. So eventually you kind of pee it all off after 10, 20 years, but you just got to avoid it or it'll make you worse. So, okay, so MTHFR at its core is about energy creation. I started to say this a minute ago. Energy creation, humans can't use carbohydrates directly. So we have to convert carbohydrates into ATP, adenosine triphosphate, which is the energy coin or unleaded gasoline of the human body, of our realm. We need ATP to breathe, to our heart to beat, to walk, to run, to do all this stuff, to not be fatigued. But if you have bad MTHFR and other methylation errors, you will not create enough ATP. So a normal human without any genetic errors, I haven't found one, but I've found some that are pretty close, without any genetic methylation errors, when they take in one carbohydrate molecule, think of it like crude oil from the ground. It's really critical that you understand this concept. The crude oil from the ground, or the carbohydrate, must be refined. And it goes through the cell, through the nucleus, through the mitochondria, which are considered the powerhouse of the cell for this reason. It goes through the Krebs cycle in the mitochondria, and out comes the ATP, 32 ATP ideally. But I get a lot of people with 12, 14, 13 errors. 10 errors or above are always bad in the methylation area. They're creating maybe 5% or 10% of the ATP they should create. So the rest of it goes to fat. That's why this is a major cause of obesity. And when you see someone weighing 300 or 400 pounds, probably because they have bad MTHFR errors. And that's why I suggest stuff like Super B or Master Formula all the time. You hear me say those because I help design those for Young Living. But those are really good options. We made sure they covered Young Living distributors. We know this about Young Living distributors because when we were designing Master Formula, I had all these spectral cells, 4,000 of them. You guys, I don't know if you remember or not, we took 1,000 out and privatized them and whited out names, stuff like that, recopied them, and gave them to the R&D team, the secretaries and stuff and clerks at Young Living. They kind of took all that data, massaged it, and what we figured from that is about 85% of Young Living distributors, along with, we think 85% of people in Utah, if you've ever been out here, a bunch of blonde-haired, blue-eyed people running around out here. It's like you're in Sweden or somewhere. But 85% of MTHFR, 85% of Young Living distributors have MTHFR also. It's why we designed those vitamins the way we did. So it's why a lot of you can't make enough progesterone, which we'll get into that in a minute too, and why a product like Progesterone Plus sells so well. So, so if you can't create enough ATP, you're going to be tired all the time. You're going to gain a lot of weight. You're going to be exhausted, fatigued. The number one thing I see people for is I'm so tired. I can't function. I can't do anything by 2 or 3 o'clock. I want to go home and go to bed. I just can't see going on another 20, 30 years like this. That's the most common thing I see people for. And it's almost always MTHFR related or cause, and they have vitamin deficiencies. When I take care of all that, 90 to 100 days later, problem solved.
Yeah.
Well, I can't get rid of the genetics, but we go around it.
You can address it.
So right, our MTHFR Renew and Endure are designed to go around the errors, all those errors, all 12 or 14 or whatever you've got, and make you feel immensely better. So you start losing weight, you start producing a lot more ATP. That's why you start burning calories and fat and don't even realize it. And I also say avoid carbs. Think of paleo. Think of your ancestors. That's how they ate for the last 20,000 years. Do the same.
Yeah.
Sorry, I'm just blathering.
No, that's great information. So the most common things you usually see is those fatigue and low hormones and that kind of stuff. But are there other diseases that are associated with MTHFR that you know of?
Yes, there's a ton of them that you can go to PubMed and look up. A lot of these you can cross check. As I give you the list, I put it out there on Facebook. I think it came out today or yesterday. But I keep adding to the list as years go by. A lot of these, I don't know if anyone else knows them. It's just because I see so many people every day for these problems, and digging around, I always find out they always have MTHFR and their related issues. So yeah, let me go through them. Mm-hmm. Chronic fatigue syndrome or fatigue, fibromyalgia always has MTHFR involved. I wouldn't say it's the cause, but it is the cause of the chronic fatigue syndrome, and a lot of the cause of the symptoms. They can't detox properly. PCOS always has, and at least the last 200 cases I've checked have had MTHFR. Endometriosis, I think it's the cause of the low progesterone production, like low testosterone in men, low progesterone in women. And so, endometriosis sufferers all have PCOS. Ovarian insufficiency, which is also called premature ovarian failure. You're 28 or 32, and your doctor goes, you're going through menopause. We don't know why. You just got to live with it. No, you don't. Get on a good methylated multivitamin. Get on MTHFR Renew or Endure or Super B or whatever, and get your genetics tested. And let's talk. Depression, because when your B vitamins get low, you get depressed. Obesity, I already talked about. Hypogonadism, number one cause in men and women, I believe, is this. Not pituitary damage, not testicular damage, not ovarian damage, but vitamin deficiencies. Anxiety, preeclampsia, toxemia, pregnancy. Go to PubMed and Google or search toxemia and MTHFR. Look at all the articles that come up now. Doctors go, we don't know what causes this. What? I'm like, have you read an article in the last 30 years? I mean, they're all over PubMed. C677T, the worst of the MTHFR errors. There's two. There's A1298C and C677T. I have the A1298C version. I have one of them, so I'm heterozygous. But the C677T is the one that's associated with toxemia and preeclampsia. Macrocytic anemia or pernicious anemia, I think, is caused by this. Not that anyone else has ever figured that out. Macrocytic anemia is clearly caused by a B12 deficiency. And I see a lot of those. Also, if you can't get your iron levels back up, it's probably because you have a riboflavin or thiamine or a B12 deficiency, all probably caused by methylation errors. So idiopathic gastroparesis or any gastroparesis, tell your friends, tell your neighbors, tell your loved ones who have gastroparesis, they probably have a really bad B12 deficiency. Usually these are severe B12 deficiencies, and it can take me 6 months to a year to get them cleared up and the gastroparesis gone. Gone. Yeah, I said it. NAFLD, NASH, or fatty liver disease, non-alcoholic steatohepatitis. Those are all caused by MTHFR or associated with it and lack of glutathione. If you're not, go to Google Images and search MTHFR C677T diagram or MTHFR glutathione diagram. You'll see that if you have MTHFR, you don't make adequate amounts of glutathione through that process. Also, if you throw in some glutathione errors like GSTP1 or GXTP1 or 2 or 3 or other genetic errors that impact your ability, CTH and those that impact your ability to adequately form or reduce glutathione, which has to be done a lot in your body when you're toxic or sick or trying to remove heavy metals and stuff, you won't make enough glutathione if you have a bad MTHFR issue. Coronary artery disease and stroke. In the nursing homes in Utah, I used to be, when I was medical director here in the state, they're full of patients that women who've stroked out in their 20s or 30s or 40s because of MTHFR. Not that it was diagnosed at the time or not that anyone knew it, but now we know that that's probably the cause of those strokes. They get high homocysteine levels. When I see a high homocysteine level, it really freaks me out. It's the worst thing you can have as far as cardiovascular and stroke risk goes. So, and that's my little list.
Yeah, that's a great list.
Can we post that?
Yeah, I think you have posted that. That
Post
was
it
on.
again.
Okay.
With my face and explanation and all my snappy sayings.
Oh,
would you?
great. I just want to remind you guys, this video, if you're not, I know some of you are having problems watching, this will go live as soon as we finish with it. So you can rewatch this over and over again a million times. It's a lot of information.
Or
So
they haven't trouble
there's just a
watching.
few people who it's not kicking on, but a lot of people aren't having
Because
any
we have
issues.
30,000 people watching.
We've got
No.
430 right now.
Wow.
But
popular.
Also, we put up the audio every day after too, is for all of these, so you can go back and
Podcasts.
look on any of your
Leave me a
podcast
review.
services. Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Yeah, if you like my podcast, leave me a review.
And we put them up on YouTube and on Dan Purser MD.
Can
so
you hear me
they're
all right? I
everywhere.
should pull the
Yeah,
mic closer.
no,
You're
you're
good.
good. I just
Okay.
wanted to remind people it's available after.
Okay.
So
So, you had another question.
yeah, I do. You kind of went into a couple of those of how those might be caused by MTHFR. Do you want to go into more detail of
Yeah,
why
some of them.
MTHFR
Well,
causes those?
PCOS, for example, the fatigue, the obesity, or the androgenicity. We're not sure of all the genetic errors in PCOS, but we do know MTHFR plays a big part of it. Also, they won't produce enough progesterone because of that. Women need a lot of progesterone to have PCOS, but they're not producing it, just like my endometriosis cases don't because of their MTHFR. If you're deficient in B12, zinc, folate, pantothenate, biotin, all those, you're not going to make progesterone correctly. So,
Yeah.
depression, obesity, I already told you, obesity is from lack of ATP production or correct utilization of energy because of MTHFR, which is at its most basic level what MTHFR gives you. Preeclampsia, toxemia, pregnancy. I'm not sure why those are associated, but they are the cause of it. I believe so. I've had patients who had repeated toxemias and preeclampsias, and when they got pregnant, we'd already treated them for MTHFR, and we put them on the right prenatals, everything else, and they didn't have it this time. They were able to carry the baby to term without complications. Macrocytic anemia. So the structure of the hemoglobin, if you have an iron deficiency, it collapses. So you get a microcytic anemia, that's I for iron, microcytic anemia, smaller cells. If you get a macrocytic anemia or macrocytosis of your red blood cells, they're bigger. It's because the lack of B vitamins allows the hemoglobin structure to awkwardly expand. And that's why. Idiopathic gastroparesis, once you have a really bad B12 deficiency, you won't create enough intrinsic factor. Look it up, and you get lack of ability to digest food. You'll get intermittent diarrhea with constipation, back and forth and back and forth. Doctor will finally do one of those barium swallows and track it through and say, you have gastroparesis. We don't know the cause. It's idiopathic. You go, what about MTHFR? They go, no, I don't know anything about that. I don't think that's the cause. But it is the cause. Again, you can go to PubMed, look up B12, look up C6717 gastroparesis. NAFLD, NASH, same thing, affects your liver. You don't make enough glutathione, so your liver gets toxic, starts to fail. You put fat in your liver. You can't. It's more complicated than just MTHFR, but treating the MTHFR, treating them with glutathione, we've seen really, really good results. So coronary artery disease and stroke. Oh, so let me back up to NAFLD and NASH. I get end-stage cases, and it's not always going to work out, but it mostly works out. So, and they do get improvement. Takes a long time for this person who's had NAFLD or non-alcoholic fatty liver disease for 20 years to get better overnight, but it's not going to happen.
Yeah.
It takes a while.
Yeah, like anything.
So, coronary artery disease and stroke, it's from the high hyperhomocysteine. The high homocysteine levels causes massive inflammation in the blood vessels. And they stroke out. If you've had a relative who's 32 or 35 or 41 or 28, a girl or a guy, have a stroke or a heart attack, probably they need to tell them they need to get their homocysteine level checked. You need to get yours checked too while you're at it, especially if you're tired a lot. So, okay, that was a quick run through.
No, that's great. So, how do you treat these problems or MTHFR in general?
You've got really smart people, maybe me being one of them, have figured out ways around these errors. So when you have certain errors like Folar 1, let's say you have Folar 2 error, you can't absorb folic acid. So instead we give you more food folate or folinic acid, which is not a drug, or more methylfolate, stuff like that. We just don't give you folic acid. Same with other errors that involve B12 and stuff like that. MTHFR, we give you all these substances that you can absorb and stuff in there. So it goes around the errors, the C677T and A1298C. That's what's in our Renew and our Endure. So when I usually say, once you get the genetic testing done, get the foundation methylation kit off our website, or if you've had a 23andMe and you want to get a Nutra Hacker, Nutra hacker.com, go there. They'll have a button that says click here to link your 23andMe test to nutrahacker.com or NutraHacker, I think is what they want you to say. It's spelled NutraHacker. But it's a compiler. It takes all the 300 pages of your 23andMe and puts it into really 7 pages. It's a 9-page document. It's really 7 pages of genetic errors and workarounds. I really like that option too. Our foundation methylation test is a lot more specific and looks at the real causes of mitochondrial and methylation errors.
Yeah,
So,
I just want to point out too that foundation methylation test is only $249 on our website.
right.
So,
It's
great
and you have
option.
the results back within 2 weeks.
Totally.
Anyway, 23andMe, don't use your real name. Don't use your real date of birth. I'll warn you about that right now because there's no privacy on there. Just forget about it. And it takes about anywhere from 6 to 10 weeks, usually longer. Probably after the show, it'll take 12 weeks. A lot of people run out and get them. And it's $199, but with the nutrahacker.com, you want the complete one. It's $38. Don't get the free one, please.
It
It's
doesn't
not enough
show
data.
enough, yeah.
Yeah, it's just kind of a page or two. Get the complete one, and that's the one I want to see. So once I see all that, then I decide how we're going to treat your methylation errors and your fatigue and all that. Spectral cell really helps too. I'm almost getting to the point I'm just like, just get a spectral cell. Save your money up. You're going to play this game. We're going to get you better. Let's do it right. You don't have to repeat hardly any of this ever. Certainly not the genetic testing.
Yeah, that's a one and done.
Yeah, and Kendall Stewart helped. He designed most of that foundation methylation test. He's probably the nation's best MD/geneticist or geneticist/MD. He's down in Austin, Texas. His test is quite good, and it's easy. And like I said, it takes less than 2 weeks. You swab your cheek and you're done. We can mail that to you. So what was the question? I forgot. Oh, what do I do then? Then I start treating. I'll usually start you on either Renew or Endure. Lately it's been Endure. You can start on Renew if you have more C677T type problems or more folate and B12 problems. I'll probably start you on the Endure. 1 a day to begin with. After a week, if you like them, try 2 a day. About 1% of people don't like them. I'll probably switch you immediately to the Endure if that's the case, if you don't like the Renew. Because you over methylate or you have a problem with the glutamine in it. The Endure, really hard to over methylate, and there's no glutamine in it. So that's how we changed it. We kind of took it on a different tangent.
So the difference between the two, though, the Renew has folate, right? It's the main B in it is folate, whereas the Endure has B12, right? That's the main
No.
difference. Yeah.
Oh, you're not even close.
How?
So let me
Yeah, explain the difference a little bit more.
a little bit better. You mean?
Yeah, because
Okay, the Endure has hydroxy B12 in it, not the regular methyl B12, because I'm trying to keep you from over methylating. Also does not have glutamine in it, and has the new food folate DFE in it. So because folinic acid, which it did have in there, got taken off the market because it's now a drug, which we don't know how that's possible. But in the MTHFR support or the MTHFR Renew has the methylfolate in it, quattrofolate it's called, and it has the methyl B12 in it too.
But it's just a bit more strong.
It's stronger. It's got more methylation groups
Yep.
in it. It's got glutamine too.
And that's why you recommend people start with it, because it's kind of like a good kick to start on. And
Yeah.
then if you
Switch
over-methylate,
over.
you can
Yeah, so my average patient probably takes 1 Endure and 3 or 2 MTHFR Renews. So maybe or 3 Renews, that's it, or 5, 4, 2. You might. So when you're going up, keep saying keep going up until you over-methylate. You might get to 8 or 9. Usually at 8, I just tell people, so I've had people get to 11. And I go, that's just wait. Maybe come back down to 8 and wait. Because you'll eventually over-methylate. It may take 6 months. All over-methylation is all your cells got full. They're all full of all the vitamins, all the supplements. You are suddenly busting out with energy. You're dancing every night. You're just having so much fun with life, or you want to dance. And suddenly you want to sleep all the time. When you get really sleepy like that, or irritable and sleepy, or edgy and sleepy, or kind of angry, that's because you just over-methylated. Does that sound right?
Mm-hmm. So, like, for example, for me, I've been taking the products since they came out. And now my good dose for me that I've stuck with for quite a while is 2 of the MTHFR Endure.
You like that?
Or the old Support Plus. That's what works for me.
Nice. Your mom's taking 3.
That's cool.
She likes those.
Yeah.
And I consider it fairly bad on the methylation scale.
But you have to.
Yeah.
We've been on it for years. Like
Yeah, you guys
5
have been on
years.
it for years. Would you say it's improved your life dramatically or not?
Definitely. Yeah.
For
Yeah.
sure. I
Yeah.
know. I can tell. So earlier you mentioned fibromyalgia, and it's not the genetic error that causes fibromyalgia, but it connects to fibromyalgia. And I know my fibromyalgia is so much easier managed when I'm consistently taking my MTHFR, because otherwise I just feel like everything gets out of whack.
You
So,
take the Endure.
I do take the Endure.
How many? 2 a day?
I take about 3 a day right now. I'm kind of messing with my dose.
Okay, good. Yeah, and then you're all right to do that. You can up it, decrease if you're getting ready to go to Disney World, or at Disney World and you're walking 12 miles a day. You may want to take 5. So just to increase your energy. So
Yeah, and I know there's so many people on here that can all share their stories about it, but I love sharing my story about this whole process too. I was a great example of a patient. I do have fibromyalgia as well, but once I started using the copper balance and taking MTHFR and getting some of my other vitamins in place, my life did change. I finally was able to start working out. I had the energy to actually go and do things for the first time
I know
in a
you
long
work out
time.
pretty hard.
I do every day now. Yeah.
So once you get the the Renew under control, and you're taking like 3 a day or 8 a day, or you've over-methylated, you come down to 3, then you add the Endure.
Mm-hmm.
And you start going up on it until you over-methylate again, and then you back that down. So some people end up on like I said, 1 Endure, 1 Renew, and 3 Endure. And maybe they'll occasionally add another Endure just when they're having a hard day.
Yeah.
Like they
That's
drive
all.
home and they're like, my butt is whipped, and I'm not going to go back there. So I tell them to either try lots of coquinol or Qunol or ubiquinol, and also to maybe try another Endure. And then their last 5 or 6 hours of the day is awesome. So there's, they're running around getting all their stuff done they want to get done at night.
Exactly.
They go out and work out. They take their wife out dancing for the night. They go on a cruise and go back to work the next day.
Yep.
And a cruise. I take 2 of the old plus. This is when I was doing it then. I'm still messing with the formula now, but 2 plus every other day. And that was my sweet spot. So it's random. It's weird.
No,
We have a big box of pluses. They're all out of date at the office. Do you
I'll
want
take
some more?
them.
Oh, you're taking them.
No.
You found the box. I only give those to friends.
Friends.
What am I?
You're my stepdaughter.
I did see a good question on here. Is the Endure safe to take while pregnant and breastfeeding?
Both these are.
Yeah, and the
Good
glutathione too,
grief,
right?
I have tons of patients who take the like the proper prenatal. Some will use some will use master formula. Some will use Thorne Research prenatal. You need to do not use a regular prenatal if you're got methylation problems, and they'll also take 1 or 2 or 3 Endure with it. So while they're pregnant, and then afterwards they'll keep taking the prenatal and they'll keep taking the Endures while they're nursing. God, that baby will suck you dry. So you'll be all out of vitamins and that's the cause of I should add that to the list. I will.
He's adding it to his
Postpartum
list.
depression.
Oh yeah, definitely.
I think one of the big causes.
Our products are gluten-free, right? I saw that. A
Yes, and
question.
glue-free too.
Glue-free, yes.
Glue-free.
Gluten-free and glue-free.
I know a lot of times people have problems with the magnesium stearate because it's an incipient, meaning it's part of what holds the
It's to keep it
formula
dry,
together.
yeah,
Yeah,
it's to
when
keep
you're
it, yeah.
making it, so it's really hard
It's
to make
natural,
products without
though.
it. It is.
Magnesium stearate is natural. We
Yeah.
only put natural stuff in there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. You get it from possum hides, don't we?
Something like
No,
that.
I'm kidding.
Oh my gosh, I was like,
No, we do not get them from possum hides.
You're
Okay.
scary.
Yeah, next question. That was an Okie joke, wasn't it? I'm
No.
Okie. I grew up in Oklahoma.
Why-
Sorry, Okies out there. I love you.
Why do you suggest spectral cell testing to like round it up?
Because they have so many other vitamin deficiencies, and you're dealing with their fatigue. Just clear the deck. Let's figure it all out. Get them treated. Get them happy. Usually 90 to 100 days, I can turn someone's life completely around. If they're severely B12 deficient, like I've had a couple this last week that were horrible, it can take 6 months. I'll have them do shots, methyl B12 injectable, like up to daily. Some of them take it 2 or 3 times a day when they're really, really bad. They love it. It's like it changes their life. It makes them feel amazing. And they think, am I addicted to this B12? No, you're addicted to B normal. So after several months, they'll drop it to like once a day. And then they'll drop it to like 3 days a week and then once a week. And at some point I'm like, you can just stop it. They're so glad to stop those B12 shots. And because now they've covered there's horrible B12 deficiencies. Their gastroparesis is gone. Their gut problems are gone. Their anemias are gone. Their fatigue is definitely gone. And their life's turned around. They started gaining weight, muscling up, whether guy or gal.
That's how my husband is. I give him a B12 shot every other day, and his energy is insane when he takes it. Like if I forget a day, I notice immediately.
Is that the methyl B12?
Yeah, the methyl B12.
Yeah.
If I forget a
Yeah,
day,
you can't do the cheap cyanocobalamin.
No.
That's made with cyanide. Trust me, people with MTHFR can't handle birth control pills, and they can't handle cyanide-made B12. You can't detox properly.
cyanide just sounds scary.
It is scary. It's super cheap. It's made in India. It's just bad.
Yeah.
So, okay. So,
I've just got a bunch of questions for you. Can I dive into those? Are we good?
well, you need to ask me. You're not even following the script. You blew the script off.
No, you discussed everything.
Okay.
You're
So
forgetting.
first, let me cover how I treat people and why. So,
You just did that.
right.
But you can go into it more if you'd like.
No, I covered it.
Yeah.
I'm being a knucklehead. I'm tired.
No, you just forget. You talk about everything.
By the time I
ahead
go
of
to church, by the time I write the script out, by the time we practice for 7 hours.
7 hours.
Okay, 7 minutes.
All the practice on the kalimba, it really wears you down.
The kalimba or the marimba?
I'll have
Wait.
you play it next week.
They
I wanna
want to
try
know
that.
what part of Okie that you're from.
I went to junior high in Morris, right by Henrietta, and I graduated high school Bixby.
Wait, are these real places?
Yeah, that's real.
Bixby, and I had a scholarship to Princeton, so
When he was 16.
So
Big brain energy.
yeah, not that anyone knew me at my high school. I was kind of invisible. I played football when I was a sophomore, but after that I ran cross country and track. I was the cross country team. I was it. Bixby's now a big 5A school outside of Tulsa, but it was a 2A, rinky dink when I was there.
It's crazy.
So
It's amazing.
yeah, I can't believe I haven't been asked to speak for a graduation event or some kind of event at Bixby. I mean, I've had 17 #1 books on Amazon. I've created numerous products. I've spoken all over the world. Yet I've never been asked to go back and speak in Bixby. So, or Morris. Well, no one knows who I was in Morris. Okay. So they called me professor, weirdly enough.
You
Okay,
like
so
that.
ask me the questions.
Okay.
I'll shut up.
Is MTHFR what causes depression with anxiety and mood fluctuations?
It definitely can. It may not be your cause, but it can. It's a big cause.
So would you recommend the normal test for that, or would you recommend Pro 7
No, the
genetic?
if it's causing bad anxiety, get the Pro 7. That's why I get the Pro 7 when I'm looking for anxiety, insomnia reasons. They're just off the wall.
Yeah.
I'll find them.
Sorry.
Yeah, if you're suffering from severe anxiety, get the Pro 7.
Yeah. Does the SpectraCell test show MTHFR, or do you specifically need to get genetic testing?
I would you specifically need to get the genetic testing, but certain patterns on the SpectraCell give it away, like B12, pantothenate, folate, serine, glutamine deficiencies. You got any 3 of those or 2 of those, you have MTHFR to prove it otherwise. And often I can tell when people are taking vitamins and guess which ones they're taking too, by their SpectraCell and what they're saying.
Yeah. It's really fun watching him kind of look at all the patterns, and he just looks at it for a second and goes, oh, they have MTHFR. Or, oh, they have this. So it's really fun. He's got it down to a T.
I don't know. I'm not perfect, but
He gets so excited when he sees one with no errors or no vitamins. He's like, look at these people. It's like a unicorn, because it's so rare
it's really
nowadays.
rare.
It's really rare.
Yeah.
What do you kind
If
of...
you're tired, you're gonna have a bad SpectraCell. If you're
Yep.
exhausted, where you can hardly get out of bed, you're gonna have a horrible SpectraCell. Guess what? That's really easy to fix.
Mm-hmm.
So, you're gonna take vitamins for the next 3 months, and you're gonna be dramatically better. And then I continue on with them maybe at half. Take them every other day or something like that forever. But you'll never be tired like that again.
Yeah. So you kind of mentioned earlier about postpartum depression and MTHFR. How do those connect again?
Well, just had a baby. The baby sucked you dry for 9 months of all your B vitamins. You weren't replacing them properly with the prenatal you were taking because it probably had folic acid. We already discussed that. And cyanocobalamin in it. Are you kidding me? You can't absorb it, and nor can you utilize it, nor can the baby. So you maybe have a preemie baby or tiny baby, and you yourself have postpartum depression. I get severe cases, like they've been in the mental hospital or in the depression unit or suicide unit or whatever, because no one can figure them out because they don't know how to do a SpectraCell. I get the SpectraCell and I automatically start treating them when I'm getting it and waiting for the results. Boom, problem confirmed, and they're already better by the time we get the results back. And then I'm like, just get on with your life. Call me if you need me. You'll do good. And next time you get pregnant, take either Thorne Research, CHORNE, or join Young Living and take Master Formula.
Yep. That's great. Can you treat other people in states now? Oh,
Yeah.
I said that backwards. Sorry.
Yes, with vitamin stuff, yeah.
Yeah. So consultations he can do all day, every day.
Telemed.
Telehealth. We can do phone
Zoom.
calls or Zooms. Yep.
I prefer to do Zooms on the first
He
couple
loves
of calls.
seeing you guys and your little faces.
Yeah, well, then I can hold things up and go, this is horrible. What? Look at these. You got 18 vitamin deficiencies. Are you alive? Oh, okay.
Are
yeah,
you
are.
alive? They accessed the Zoom call.
So I've seen a couple people asking about for their children, and they know they have the MTHFR genetic errors. So what can they do to help their kids?
Tiny Bite.
Yeah.
Which is what I take because I only have a couple errors. Where's the Tiny Bite, Jackson?
We're really close. We are in line for the production now. Everything is ready. We're just waiting on our manufacturer to get it done. It's been a process for this last year to get that
it's
done. I don't
been
know what's
horrible.
been
Literally a
going on.
year.
Yeah. Please get that online.
Yeah,
We are,
we're going as
believe
fast as we
us.
can.
Are
I've
they
worked with
got
them
their
every
machine
week.
out unwrapped?
They
if
do,
were
and
changing
that's why I
buildings?
say we are in line now to get it made.
We weren't in line first in
Well,
line.
they
I was surprised
moved
by that, too.
locations.
It's
and
just
it's
been
been a
crazy
process.
this year.
And
Yeah.
then
the
thing hit.
folinic acid and all that, and it's just bad. Yeah.
And
Yeah,
we've
the
just
bad thing that
been a
came
year.
from China.
been
Okay,
a
yeah.
Yep,
year.
it's been fun.
Well, so-
it's almost here. We're
Yeah.
very, very close now, more than ever.
We're
Yes,
just glad
thank
we've
you.
got renewal. Basically all of our products are coming back in stock, and we're really
And we
excited
have
about that.
new brain support that'll be soon too.
Yes.
Oh yeah, the BioPQQ. bioubiquinol,
Mm-hmm.
nanoubiquinol. That's going to be the only super validated support product for dementia out there, memory improvement.
Mm-hmm.
30 FDA, is it 30? Yeah, 30 plus FDA validated studies now that show that it works in that combination. Why no one else has done it? Well, we have the license for it from Mitsubishi, but so maybe that's why no one else has done it. Oops. Yeah. And that and the glutathione, and you could really, I think, help your dementia issues. So,
Mm-hmm.
according to the FDA, at least. Okay.
Yeah.
So ask me something else.
Can you take MTHFR at night?
I have patients do that. I wouldn't advise it because it really makes you feel good. Remember, it's changing your ATP production, giving you more energy. If you're going out dancing or mountain climbing or camping, you might want to take it at night. But otherwise, I probably take it earlier in the day. Maybe.
Yeah. I like it in the beginning of the day too. What test is best for a person who has had a stroke, heart attack, low testosterone, thyroid issues, and extreme fatigue? That's a list.
Wow.
Yeah.
A spectral cell, a homocysteine level, get another free and total test, and I'd probably do the foundation methylation test.
Yeah. Just get a good base of everything.
I'd get everything. I didn't that.
That's a lot.
And really do everything possible so none of that ever happens again.
Yeah. Do you know if there's any connection between MTHFR and Lyme disease?
They both cause fatigue.
Yeah.
I think I've seen a lot of cases of Lyme when it was really a fatigue from MTHFR and vitamin deficiencies. But then I've seen some real cases of Lyme too.
Yeah.
Like in Utah, Lyme's just hit. We know that from the CDC. Can we trust the CDC though? Okay, I'm just dropping that right there. But okay, and so yeah, so the tick has gotten here to Utah finally. We were in the center of the country. We're kind of the last ones. They had to climb the mountains and little ticks moving along through. It took them for a long time to get here, climbing the mountains.
I don't know what you're talking
The
about.
Lyme disease and
Oh.
ticks.
Lyme disease is carried by ticks.
Oh,
Had
gotcha.
to climb this tall Wasatch Mountains. They're huge.
Uh-huh.
Through a little snow pile.
So
Okay.
funny.
I'm being okay. Sorry, I'm dawdling.
Dawdling. So,
Okay,
oh.
go ahead. Ask me one more,
One more. Oh,
and
no.
and then you'll list the winners tomorrow.
We can, or do you want to let it go for the? What do we want to
We're
do?
not letting
Yeah,
it
list
go.
them tomorrow. Yeah.
Okay, we can do it tomorrow. Okay, I'll do it tomorrow. Sorry, I'm trying to find a really good one that's just like a fun, good question to end on.
Real quick. Okay, this is a
Yeah.
side question. People are asking what tests to get done before an initial consult.
Oh, it helps if you get the foundation methylation and the spectral cell.
Perfect.
Get them.
And that one's quick, 2 weeks. So
And if you're really, if you're really fatigued and just like I cannot make it through work each day, either start Super B if you're young living or get our MTHFR Renew and start that. I'd start it. Try it. If you don't like the Renew for whatever reason, take the Endure.
what about inflammation? Does MTHFR cause
Of
inflammation?
course it does.
That's a question I'm seeing a ton.
Yeah, it causes inflammation. If you got a lot of inflammation, though, you want to get the Pro 7, we can figure that out more. So I've been doing a lot of work. We've got a study ongoing right now for inflammation. That's all I'm going to say on it, with a new product we developed. I'd say it's pretty
Yeah.
a bunch of zeros out inflammation.
Crazy.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, enough I'll say about that. You'll hear more about it in probably the next 4 or 5 months. So.
And then all you guys with all your questions that we didn't get answered to, don't worry, we'll go through and answer everything.
Her and Bailey will work night and day, and me standing over
It'll
them.
be me probably in midnight.
And bringing them to whatever, to Diet Coke or Ninjas and Nitros or whatever to drink. So they'll make it. Okay, so is that it?
Yeah, I'd say it's
Okay.
750.
So once again, I want to review it. Supplements are MTHFR Renew, start at first, MTHFR Endure, that's what you take second. Also, start the bars glutathione, especially if you have NAFLD or can't detox properly. Number 2, you want to get foundation methylation testing. While you've started those and get and request a spectral cell from us, you can get all that from our danpursermd.com website. Is that right?
Yep.
Yes. Yep. And physiciandesign.com. It's all there.
Physiciandesign.com.
It's all
Jackson
up on
says.
both of them. Yeah.
Yeah, and
And our products are on Amazon.
we are on Amazon. Please leave a review, whether you hate them, love them, like them, hate me, whatever. Love me. Leave a review for the product, please, so we can grow that little area of business. So more people will find out about the services we offer. So also any positive reviews or negative reviews, you can leave me on Google. I really like that. And if you got my books and like them, or you're getting my 85% solution, please leave me a review. So no Facebook Live next week.
Nope.
We're giving it a rest
He
Mm-hmm.
needs a
because
break.
Dr. Purser is tired, right? And yeah, we got to check on Jared. So how's he doing in medical school? Good?
He's doing good. Yeah.
He's making straight A's still?
Yep. He always does. He's
Jared's a
good.
little brainiac, isn't he?
Uh-huh.
Okay. Well, I'll talk to you guys in 2 weeks. I love you to death. Thank you. Thank you for listening. Thank you for watching. God bless and go in good health.